Okay, so this is what I've got here, and I'm just going to explain the idea of what we're trying to do. So we're going to take a little bit of this tube here, and we're going to put this smaller tube in it. Right, and so we see that it will fit and go all the way in there. I mean, there may be some funny snags or whatever, but it's enough. It's a few centimeters larger, so it's about twice the size of this white tube. So you'll have one wire that goes up this tube here, and it is pretty small, but the reason we want it really small is because we don't want it to be heavy. And so we'll have one wire that goes up here, and then one wire that goes up on the outside of this white tube, and the only tube that will be connected to the balloon will be this tube where the hydrogen will go up. And the balloon and the system will be anchored. Now, this looks like a pretty big anchor for such a small balloon, because we're not going to be using these balloons. We're going to be using about a 6-foot diameter balloon, because that is legally the largest balloon that you can use. But the wind is quite strong, and you can get about, I don't know, 20 kilograms of force due to the wind. I mean, the calculations for the force you get from wind on a 6-foot diameter balloon, I'd have to do a variety of calculations, but from experience, it's going to be maybe up to 20 kilograms total of force in strong wind. And so that's the idea. So what we'll have underneath here, I mean, we're not going to have this whole tube connected, but we're going to have about 2 feet of tube connected. And then these are just some attachments for the tubes. So I don't know if I'll actually use them or not, but they will attach the tube perhaps to the fishing line, or I might just use this and hook it to the fishing line directly. Now, the bottom of this tube will be capped with a plastic cap, which I bought a variety of plastic caps, and I hope they fit this tube, but we'll see. And then inside the cap, I'll drill the holes to put the wires through. This tube will not go all the way to the bottom of this red tube. And I'll drill some holes, and then I'll just use some glue to make sure nothing gets through the holes, so the water will not get through the holes. And then hopefully that will be enough pressure due to the water height, because the height of the water is actually what creates the pressure, not the amount of water. Like originally my first experiment was just to put water into a bowl like this, right? And I tried to blow up the balloon, and this pushed down on the water. But when you have water that is very high, the pressure of the water itself or the gravity on the water itself is what creates the pressure. And so you have much higher pressure pushing up, essentially, against the air coming down from the balloon. And hopefully it'll be enough. I'm thinking about 2 feet or 3 feet of this tubing will be enough. If I have to go much more than 2 or 3 feet, it's going to be quite heavy. And so hopefully 2 or 3 feet will do. This little thing here is just a solar, a small solar cell, so that I can charge a camera, for instance. For instance, this GoPro camera. I'll attach it or hang it from the balloon somehow. And that's my explanation for today. I'm not going to actually do anything today, but that's just an overview.